something down there.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Multiverse. Wes here, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the new Amazon Lord of the Rings series that they're going to be spending $1 billion on. We're going to talk about a potential release date, some speculation about the plot line, our previous collaborators of the Hobbit series and the Lord of the Rings series going to be coming to work on this new Amazon series. We're going to talk about that all in this video. This is everything we know so far about Amazon's Lord of the Rings. Now, this video is most likely going to contain spoilers for the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings series, so if you plan on watching those, click off the video for now. But without further delay, let's get right into it. Be sure to enter our monthly giveaway. For this month, we're going to be giving away 10 tickets to see the Han Solo movie. It's really easy to enter. All you have to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on for a chance to win. Leave a comment on why you want to win with your Twitter handle attached, and I will pick the winner at the end of the month. Good luck. So over the last few years, there's been basically a bidding war for the Tolkien estate on who is going to get rights to the Lord of the Rings series. There's potential buyers that range from Netflix to HBO to I'm sure Disney and a few others. But the rights alone for this project costed Amazon $250 million. And according to the Hollywood Reporter, it expects to spend around $1 billion on the show over the course of 5 seasons, which it has reportedly committed to. So what that means is Amazon's dropping big ol' stacks on Lord of the Rings, and there's going to be at least 5 seasons of the show, which is really good news for Lord of the Rings fans like myself. I can't wait for this series. It's going to be 5 seasons at least, so hopefully they use that money and it goes to the right assets and the right people to make this project a success. Now, there's a lot of talk on whether or not Peter Jackson, who is the director for the Hobbit trilogy, as well as the Lord of the Rings trilogy, if he is going to have any involvement in the project. But THR reports that Peter Jackson's involvement in the project is uncertain, but Jackson's attorney described the deal as a creature of times, saying Amazon is taking a page out of the studio's emphasis on franchises. There's been some rumors on whether or not Peter Jackson is just going to produce the show, or if he's going to be the full-blown director. Me personally, I want him to have as much involvement on the project as possible. A new Peter Jackson series in the Lord of the Rings franchise would be huge. Now, if he doesn't end up directing it, that's fine, but I just want him to be there to produce it. I want his genius to be working on making sure we have the right pieces for the puzzle. I'm talking Ian McKellen as Gandalf, Andy Serkis as Gollum, because let's be honest, guys, I don't think we could have a new adaptation of Gollum or Gandalf without Ian McKellen and Andy Serkis. Now, the 78-year-old Ian McKellen told BBC Radio 2 host Graham Norton that he'd be game to come back as Gandalf, though he has yet to be reprised for the role. And he jokingly said, Gandalf is 7,000 years old, so I'm not that old. And then the actor who plays Gimli said he's siding with fans who don't like the idea of another Lord of the Rings adaptation so soon after Peter Jackson's definitive retelling. And he said, and I quote, "It's not about doing it better, it's about making more money, and that's all. If they think they can make more money, then they will." Now, in a time with Game of Thrones almost over and them not even close to being near the prequels, this could leave Amazon a nice spot to actually release the Lord of the Rings series in between the new Game of Thrones prequel and the Witcher 3 Netflix series. Now, I completely agree with the statement that John Davies, aka Gimli, said. If they actually try to release the new Lord of the Rings series and it's basically an adaptation of Peter Jackson's masterpiece, then it's almost definitely going to fail, because let's be honest, guys, you're not going to be able to beat out Peter Jackson's work on The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. Now, my best guess for the setting is probably going to be in between Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, so it'd be a sequel to The Hobbit and a prequel to the Lord of the Rings. Now, the ideal scenario would be backstories of Gandalf and Aragorn, because we know Aragorn's mother brought him to the elf city of Rivendell when he was just 2 years old, after an orc arrow killed his father, and then Elrond fostered young Aragorn and kept his identity secret to protect the future king of Gondor. And I think this series could be about Aragorn going on adventures with Elrond's sons, and they eventually befriended Gandalf and fought preliminary battles against Sauron and his allies. And maybe we'll finally get an on-screen adaptation of Aragorn fighting alongside King Theoden's father. The best part about the time in between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings is not much of it has been shown on the big screen. So that should leave some leeway for the people working on Lord of the Rings to create their own adaptation of some of the scenarios. Because if I'm being brutally honest, if Amazon tries to recreate the stuff that Peter Jackson did, it's gonna fall flat. There's no way that they're gonna be able to recreate the Battle of Helm's Deep, aka the Battle of Hornburg, and try to top the masterful work of Peter Jackson in the Lord of the Rings movies. I mean, unless they're willing to spend time and money on the sets and effects It will basically always feel like a cheap version of the movie series. And that's the part that makes me the most nervous. I would say the best way to describe how I'm feeling is pretty cautiously optimistic. I really feel like if they don't try to beat Peter Jackson and just do their own thing, this could be very successful, especially if they do it in between Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. This TV series could showcase how Glorfindel fought the Balrog, and maybe we'll even get to see how Arendelle killed the dragon as huge as Encalagan the Black. Now that fight alone could absolutely make the show depending on how they decide to do the setting. Now if you guys have never heard about Arendelle slaying the Encalagan the Black, I'll talk about it just really quick. Now this is a non-canonical description, but it's the only one we have. So after Arendelle made his journey to Valinor to convince the Valar to overthrow Morgoth and rescue the overmatched and defeated elves in Indane, the host of Valinor made war upon Morgoth and destroyed his armies. Facing final defeat, Morgoth unleashed his last and greatest weapon, a fleet of winged fire drakes, led by Encalagan. So terrible was their onslaught that the armies of the Valar were driven back from the gates of Angband, and their coming was said to have been accompanied by a tempest of fire and lightning. But Arendelle came out of the west in his blessed ship, Vingelit, accompanied by the eagles of Manwë, led by Thorondon. The eagles and Arendelle dueled with Encalagan the Black and the other dragons for an entire day. Eventually, Arendelle was victorious, casting Encalagan down on the Thangorodrim and destroying the volcanic mountains in his fall. The death of Encalagan marked the end of Morgoth's final resistance. So depending on the setting of the series, we could actually see Encalagan and Arendelle fight it out. But yeah, like I said, that'd be super epic if they did that. The odds are they're probably just going to do like an adaptation of Aragorn and his travels, meeting Gandalf, and the origin story behind the beloved character that is Aragorn. Now, the biggest question that every big fan of Lord of the Rings and myself is asking is, when is this TV show going to release? Now, we know it doesn't have a projected release date, but they're working on it right now. They're trying to get writers. They're trying to get all the people in place to actually make this show. But if we kind of take a look at when HBO purchased the television rights to Game of Thrones, that was in September 2008, and it didn't actually appear on TV until the spring of 2011. So I imagine it's probably going to be at least 2 to 3 years until we actually see the first season done. This is on Amazon Prime, so they're going to get every single episode done before the actual release date, and they're just going to put it out at one time, unless they decide to do it like Hulu does and just have a weekly release date. But odds are people like to binge watch TV, so Prime is just going to give us all every single episode in the season at the same time. At least that's what I hope they do. I'm a binge watcher. I like watching TV shows whenever the season is complete, and then I usually just get it done really quick. Although there are some series like Game of Thrones where I just can't wait week to week, and I have to watch that next episode with the rest of the world so I don't get spoiled. But yeah, guys, that's everything we know so far about the Amazon Lord of the Rings series. It's coming soon, but as we get more information, I will make update videos, and who knows, we might get to see some casting choices. We might finally get to hear a director. If Peter Jackson does this film or this series, you best believe that we're going to post a video about that instantly. Any trailers that are going to be happening, we'll cover that on the channel. If you guys like geek culture, Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, anything like that, do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, turn your post notifications on, and if you guys want more details about the giveaway, be sure to go to the beginning of the video and listen to the details about the giveaway. We're going to be giving away 10 tickets to see the Han Solo movie, so definitely just enter. It's easy. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel. And yeah, guys, that's going to be all for this video. Thank you all once again for watching the Multiverse channel. This has been a passion project for myself and Jimmy, and we hope to keep creating awesome content for you guys, the fans. If you guys have suggestions for future videos, be sure to let us know down in the comments. Thanks again for watching this video, guys. It's been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys next time in the Multiverse.